The time is 15:02 and the date is the 25th of June 96. My name is Peter Nicholson. I'm an investigator with the Offices of the Prosecutor for the International Tribunal for Former Yugoslavia. Also present at this interview are Jean-René Ruiz, also an investigator, Mr. Jovan Babic, counsel for Dražan Ademović, who is also present. The translator present is Alex Oliver Tomic.
Vreme je 15:02, 25. juni 1996. Moje ime je Peter Nicholson, ja sam istražitelj pri Međunarodnom sudu. Također prisutni su Jean-René Ruiz, istražitelj pri Međunarodnom sudu, gospodin Jovan Babić, advokat osumnjičenog i prevodilac je Aleksandar Oliver Tomić.
I'd now like to read you the rights due to you.
Sada bih želeo da vam pročitam prava.
My name is Peter Nicholson and I am an investigator in the Office of the Prosecutor of the Tribunal.
Moje ime je Peter Nicholson, ja sam istražitelj pri tužilaštvu Međunarodnog suda za bivšu Jugoslaviju.
Pursuant to Rules 43 and 44 of the Tribunal Rules of Procedure and Evidence,
na osnovu pravila 43 i 44 pravilnika o postupku i dokazima,
I am obliged to advise you of certain matters.
moram da vam objasnim izvesne stvari.
Do you understand that?
Da li to razumete?
Da. I must caution you that you are not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so.
Moram da vas upozorim da ne morate ništa da kažete, osim ako to ne želite.
But that whatever you say will be recorded and may be given in evidence.
Ali da šta god kažete, bit će snimljeno i može biti upotrebljeno.
Do you understand that?
Kao dokazni materijal. Da li to razumete?
I must advise you that you have the right to be assisted by the counsel of your choice.
Moram da vam kažem da imate pravo na pravnu pomoć vašeg pravnog zastupnika.
Or if you cannot afford counsel, to have counsel assigned to you at no cost.
A ako niste u stanju da to materijalno obezbedite, imate pravo na pravnog zastupnika koji će vam biti obezbeđen.
Do you understand that?
Da li to razumete?
I must advise you that you have the right to the assistance of an interpreter.
Moram da vam kažem da imate pravo na prevodioca
who will be supplied to you free of charge if you cannot speak.
Koji će vam biti obezbeđen besplatno ako ne možete da govorite
and or understand the language used by me in the course of this interview.
Kojim se ja koristim u toku ovog razgovora.
Do you understand that?
Da li to razumete?
I must inform you that this interview is being recorded by means of a video recorder.
Moram također da vas obavestim da se ovaj razgovor snima pomoću video kamere.
Which record may form part of the evidence used against you.
I može sačinjavati deo dokaznog materijala koji može biti iskorišćen protiv vas.
Do you understand that?
Da li to razumete?
Da. I must, at the conclusion of this interview, give you an opportunity to add anything to your testimony.
Na kraju ovog razgovora moram da vam pružim priliku da, ako hoćete, kažete bilo šta što biste želeli da dodate.
Or to clarify anything that arose during the course of the interview.
Ili da objasnite bilo šta što je pomenuto u toku razgovora.
That you consider to be unclear or ambiguous.
Što vi smatrate da nije bilo dovoljno jasno ili možda dvosmisleno.
Do you understand that?
Da li to shvatate?
I must, at the conclusion of this interview, have the record of the interview transcribed.
Na kraju ovog razgovora ceo snimak ovog razgovora mora biti transkribovan.
And I must give you a copy of this transcript together with a copy of the tape.
I moram vam dati transkript ovog razgovora zajedno sa kopijom videokasete.
Do you understand that?
Da li to razumete?
I must then have the original of the tape sealed in an envelope with the seal of the tribunal.
Zatim moram original kasete, mora biti zatvoren u jednu kovertu i zapečaćen pečatom suda.
Affixed to the outside of the envelope, and you may, if you wish, sign the envelope.
Mora da se potpiše, ako želite možete potpišete spoljnu stranu koverte.
Do you understand that?
Da li to razumete?
I would add that your counsel, Mr. Babic, has agreed that we can supply you with the tape as soon as possible after this interview.
Hteo bih da dodam da je vaš advokat, gospodin Babić, pristao na to da vam damo, odnosno njemu damo kasetu što je pre moguće nakon ovog razgovora.
Have you clearly understood all that I've said to you?
Da li ste sve razumeli što sam rekla?
Do you wish to have the counsel of your choice?
Da li želite da imate advokata po vašem izboru?
Da. Po mom izboru. Koji mi dodijeli.
Yeah, to my choice.
Do you wish to have counsel assigned to you free of cost?
Da li želite da vam se dodeli advokat besplatno?
Da.
Do you wish to have the assistance of your own interpreter free of cost?
Da li želite pomoć prevodioca besplatno?
Pa.
Yeah.
Well, or are you happy with the provision of Ms. Oliver Tomic to act as interpreter on your behalf?
Jeste zadovoljni da ja budem vaš prevodilac?
Okay. And do you understand that this interview is being video recorded?
I da li razumete da se ovaj razgovor snima?
Thank you very much.
Wow.
And now we can begin.
Sad možemo da počnemo.
I have here a few pictures which were shot the 7th of June. The pictures show some barracks in Zvornik. I'm going to show you these pictures.
Ovdje imamo nekoliko fotografija snimljenih 7. juna. Pokazuju
and you are going to tell me if you recognize something.
Garnizone u Zvorniku. Da li nešto prepoznajete od ovoga?
Ja mislim da smo se tu došli sa kombijom i javili se. Tu je bio taj pot.
I think that this is where we arrived in a van.
Tu smo stali sa kombijom negdje kod ovih kapija.
I think that's where we stopped by this gate in a van.
Who did you meet in this location?
Koga ste sreli na tom mjestu?
Mi smo ostali vozila, Brano i vozač su otišli ovdje unutra. Gdje je bila vojna policija.
We stayed in the vehicle, but Brano and the driver went to report. I think it was military police.
Could you pinpoint the building in which the lieutenant colonel from the military police was coming out of?
Da li možete da pokažete zgradu odakle je izašao potpukovnik iz vojne policije?
Odavde su izašli iz ove prijavnice.
From the reception area.
Okay. He was inside the reception when you came?
Unutar prijavnice?
Ja stvarno ne znam, znam da su Brano i vozač ušli tu unutra.
I know that Brano and the driver went inside.
Okay. Did you see these barracks before that day, or was it the first time you saw them?
Da li ste ranije nekada vidjeli ove zgrade ili je to bilo prvi put?
Ja sam ranije kad smo išli za Vlasnicu u bazu.
Yes, I have
pa vidi se ova zgrada, prolazi se po
before when we're going to Vlasenice to the base, this building could be seen.
Moglo se vidjeti iz vozila, iz autobusa.
You could see it from a vehicle, from a bus.
There is also this picture.
Ima također još i ova fotografija.
Da, to je.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Do you know what was the unit who was billeting in this location?
Da li znate koja jedinica je bila locirana u ovoj zgradi?
Stvarno ne znam.
I really don't know.
Znam da je to vjerojatno pripadalo Drinskog korpusa, ali koja jedinica je bila, ne znam.
I believe they probably belong to the Drina Corps, but I really don't know which unit.
Okay. This was the first set of pictures.
Prvi niz fotografija.
There is another set that I would like to present you. The pictures were taken the 30th of May of this year.
Drugi niz fotografija snimljeni su 30. maja ove godine.
And I have the same question. Have you ever seen this location before?
Isto pitanje postavljam, da li ste ikada ranije vidjeli ove lokacije?
Ne.
No.
Znam baš po ovo što danas imam.
No, I know that I've never seen it before. By this show.
Ne.
No.
So this, for example, there is no doubt that it is not the place where you went after the executions of the farm.
Drugim rečima, nema sumnje da to nije to mesto gde ste išli nakon ubistava na farmi.
Ovo mjesto.
This place.
Yes, this place.
Ne.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Hvala lepo.
I have here a list of a few names.
Tu imamo spisak imena, nekoliko imena.
And I would like to know if among these names you would recall somebody that you already
Ako možete
knew.
pogledati mene, da li prepoznajete neko ime? Nekog koga ste poznavali?
No.
No.
None of these names is familiar to you.
Nijedno ime vam
Nijedno.
nije čak ni približno.
Even the first names?
Čak ni ova
Nažalost,
imena.
ne.
Unfortunately, no.
Nijedno.
Okay.
Not a
Prezime,
single
ne.
one. Not a single surname. Not a single name.
Good.
U redu.
The last point, we have to return at the date of the 12th July 95, when you left the area of Srebrenica.
Da se vratimo na 12. juli 1995. kada ste napustili područje Srebrenice.
There was the accident of the APC in which a soldier was killed.
Bila je jedna nesreća gde jednog oklopnog vozila gde je jedan vojnik poginuo.
Da.
Yes.
Were you present in the vicinity of the accident? Did you see what happened, or were you told after the event what had happened?
Da li ste bili prisutni u blizini nesreće i da li ste vidjeli što se dogodilo?
Ne, došao sam poslije nekoliko sati.
Ili su vam kasnije ispričali šta se dogodilo?
Da, prevrnulo se vozilo, transportir.
No, I arrived several hours later. They told me that the APC had turned over on the road.
Okay. Do you know who was inside the vehicle?
Da li znate ko se nalazio u vozilu?
Nalazio se taj komandant naše jedinice i ta dvojica vojnika. Jedan je smrtno nastradao, jedan je bio u bolnici.
A commander of our unit and two soldiers. One died and the other one went into hospital.
When you say the commander, to who do you refer
Kad
precisely?
kažete komandir naše jedinice, na koga se to odnosi?
Milorad Pelemiš, komandant naše jedinice.
Milorad Pelemiš, the commander of our unit.
Do you know if Pelimis has been wounded during the accident?
Da li znate da li je Pelemiš bio povređen?
Da, malo u glavu.
A little bit in his head. He had a...
Did you see him after the accident?
Da li ste ga vidjeli posle nesreće?
Da.
Yes.
How was he physically?
Kako je izgledao?
Pa, bio je povrijeđen, imao je neke flastere na
He
glavi.
had a wound, he had some plasters on his head.
He was already healed. I mean, somebody already took care of him.
To je već je neko mu ukazao pomoć.
Da.
Kada ste ga vidjeli.
Da. Pa ja sam došao poslije to, mi smo kasnili za kolonom, pokvarilo se naše vozilo, kasnili smo možda 7 sati.
I came later. We were late because our vehicle was broken down, and we were late about 7 hours.
Mm-hmm. But when you arrived in Vlasenica, you saw Pelimis, and Pelimis seemed to be okay.
Ali kada ste došli u Vlasenicu, kada ste vidjeli Pelemiša, izgledao je u redu.
Ja samo imao flaster i čuo sam šta se dogodilo.
He just had the bandage, the plaster, and I heard what happened.
Okay. After that, you went to the funeral in Trebinje.
I posle toga ste išli na sahranu u Trebinje.
Da.
And when you came back, you were asked during your previous interview if all your unit was present. You answered yes.
I kada ste se vratili, posljednji put ste pitani u posljednjem razgovoru da li su svi iz vaše jedinice bili prisutni i odgovorili ste da.
Da.
Do you remember having seen Pelimis also that day, the 15th?
Da li se sećate da ste vidjeli Pelemiša tog dana 15.
Ne mogu da se sjetim, ali ne vjerujem da sam ga vidio. Tada kad sam se vratio, a posle možda 2-3 sata, kad sam ustao, tada sam ga vidio.
I can't remember
Pošto smo došli ujutro rano, oko 5 časova smo došli iz Trebinja, 5-6 časova.
then, exactly when I returned. It may have been 2 or 3 hours later. I don't think I saw him. Because I saw him afterwards when I got up, because we arrived very early, about 5 in the morning.
So you saw him the 15?
Znači, vidjeli ste ga 15.
Da, ali posle podne kad sam ustao.
But later in the afternoon when I got up.
How was he physically?
Kako izgledao fizički? Normal.
Did he still have his bandage on the head, or did he look fine?
Da.
Yes.
He still had the bandage on the head?
Nije on imao neke teže povrede.
I dalje imao plastir.
Da.
He still had a plaster. He didn't suffer any serious wounding.
Okay. He could speak normally and behave normally?
Normalno je govorio, normalno se ponašao.
Da.
Yes.
Good. This is the only thing I wanted to ask you today, so...
To je bilo sve.
We told you it was short. It is effectively short.
Rekli smo će biti vrlo kratko i jeste kratko.
That's it.
Okay. So now I have some things to say at the end.
Gospodin Nicholson ima nekoliko stvari koje mora da kaže na kraju.
Would you like to clarify anything that you have said and add anything else that you wish to add?
Da li želite da objasnite bilo šta u vezi s ovim razgovorom ili da dodate?
Ne znam, vama što ima nejasno.
If there is anything,
ja ću da objasnim
if
sve,
you need it clarified, I can explain it again.
Eventually, I have a last question. Among the men in your unit, do you recall one of them who would be around 45 years old, small, and with 2 golden teeth in the mouth?
Ipak imam jedno dodatno pitanje za vas. Da li se možda sećate jednog čoveka u vašoj jedinici koji je imao oko 45 godina, nizak, plavokos i koji imao 2 zlatna zuba?
With fair hair.
Vilici i plavokos.
Nije takvog čovjeka od nekih 45 godina nije bilo u bijeli.
There was not a 45-year-old man in
Jer mi smo bili u Vijeljenskom vodu.
Because we were in the Bijeljina platoon, but I don't know about the Vlasenica platoon.
That's fine for me.
To je dovoljno.
Thank you.
Hvala.
Okay, 2 more questions.
Još 2 pitanja.
Have the answers that you have given as recorded in this interview been made of your own free will?
Da li su odgovori koje ste dali u ovom razgovoru i na ova pitanja bili dati od vaše slobodne volje?
Da.
Yes.
And has any threat, promise or inducement been held out to you to give the answers as you have recorded in this interview?
Da li vam je neko nešto obećao, pretio, da biste dali neke odgovore? No.
Okay, the time is 15:20 hours on the 25th of June and we are terminating this interview.
Vrijeme je 15:20, 25. juna i ovim se razgovor završava.
Okay, it's 24th of April 1996. The time is 10:57, and we are here at Scheveningen Prison. Present for this interview are Jean-René Ruiz, Peter Nicholson, Ivana Georgievich, Dražan Ademović, and Jovan Babić. For the purpose of this interview, Mr. Ademović will be considered as a suspect, and therefore I will read to him the rights that are due him, both in terms of the interview process and in terms of the video process.
Danas je 24. april 96. 10 sati...
10:57.
10 sati i 50 minuta. Nalazimo se u zatvoru u Scheveningenu. Prisutni su Peter Nicholson, Jean-René Ruiz, Ivana Đorđević, Dražan Erdemović i Jovan Babić. Za potrebe ovog ispitivanja gospodin Erdemović se tretira kao osumnjičeni, stoga ću mu ja pročitati njegova prava i u vezi sa postupkom i u vezi sa postupkom video snimanja.
To know you better,
pre svega i da bismo se sa vama bolje upoznali,
could you please make us a summary of your personal history, let's say since the beginning of the hostilities, for us to understand how you got involved in the Bosnian Serb army?
Da li biste nam mogli ukratko prepričati vaš lični život od početka neprijateljstava u Bosni, kako bismo im dobili uvid u to kako ste se pridružili vojsci bosanskih Srba?
Može. Vojske, bio sam redovno u vojsci, došao sam iz vojske iz Beograda 92. u aprilu mjesecu.
I was doing my regular army service in Belgrade and I came back in April 1999. 92, sorry.
Kući u Tuzli.
I came home to Tuzla in April 92.
Nedugo zatim u Bosni izbija sukob.
Soon after hostilities broke out in Bosnia.
Počele su razne mobilizacije, muslimani su mobilizirali svoje ljude, Hrvati svoje, Srbi svoje. Ja nisam tu...
And various mobilizations ensued. The Muslims mobilized their own men, the Croats mobilized their own men, the Serbs mobilized their own men.
Ja nisam htio tada da se priključim nijednoj vojsci, zato što sam već bio, nisam htio, muslimani su mi dolazili, htjeli da me mobilišu, ja sam bio poziv, privodili su me zato što sam bio u vojsci JNA, osumnjičene, tražili oružje, navodno da sam neko donio i šta ja znam.
I wouldn't join any army. The Muslims tried to mobilize me. I refused. Then they came searching for arms because I had been in the Yugoslav army.
Izbjegavao sam sve da idem u vojsku zato što sam prethodno bio u redovnoj vojsci, tadašnjoj JNA. Mislim, nisam mogao da idem, da pucam sad protiv tih ljudi. Izbjegavao sam sve to do 10. mjeseca 92.
I avoided joining any army because having done my regular army service just before that, I couldn't now start shooting at the same people, and I managed to avoid joining various armies until October 92.
U 10. mjesecu priključujem se u HVO policiju u Tuzli. Hrvatskog vijeća odbrane.
In October 92, I joined the HVO police in Tuzla.
Tu boravku u HVO nisam učestvovao ni u kakvim zločinama, ni u čemu. Čak što više pomagao sam Srbima, da prevodio sam ih iz Tuzle koji su željeli da odu u Republiku Srpsku i bio sam tu u jednom prevođenju preko planine Majice, bio sam uhapšen od strane HVO policije gdje su me maltretirali, bio sam u zatvoru i kod HVO i kod muslimana, muslimani me nisu tu.
In October, I joined HVO. I took part in no crimes while I was there. On the contrary, I helped Serbs who wanted to go across to Republika Srpska. And during one of those attempts to help people cross, I was arrested by HVO police on Mount Majevica, and I was then maltreated. I was arrested by the Muslims as well, but they treated me well. They didn't beat me.
U tom jednom pokušaju prevođenja tog uhapšen sam i već sam rekao da sam bio u zatvoru. Pušten sam negdje oko 20. oktobra 93. iz zatvora kući na vikend.
I was released from prison around the 20th of October 1993. I was temporarily released to go and spend the weekend at home.
Međutim, odlazim kod jednog čovjeka koji je isto Srbin, koji meni i mojoj suprugi obećao ako pređem s njim u Republiku Srpsku da će me obezbijeti da odem, da će me njegovi sinovi obezbijeti da odem u inostranstvo, u Švajcarsku.
I went to a Serb who had promised myself and my wife to help us, if we went to Republika Srpska, to help us go abroad to Switzerland.
U Republiku Srpsku sa suprugom dolazim 3. novembra 1993.
I arrived in the Republika Srpska on the 3rd of November 1993.
Imam probleme sa pojedinim jedinicama Vojske Republike Srpske, odnosno paravojnim formacijama, gdje smo je maltretirali i htjeli da me ubiju. Ja sa suprugom prebjegnem u Saveznu Republiku Jugoslaviju kod prijatelja u Hrvatskoj.
I have problems with some units of the army of the Republika Srpska, that is with paramilitary units, and I was attacked, beaten up, and I escaped with my wife to the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia.
Taj čovjek što mi je obećao da će mi pomoći nije ispunio to, ne znam zbog čega. Jednostavno kad smo prešli u Republiku Srpsku okrenuo je leđa, ništa nije htio ni meni ni suprugi da pomogli.
The man who had promised to help us didn't do that. I don't know why. For some reason, as soon as we crossed to the Republika Srpska, he turned his back on us and wouldn't help us, neither myself nor my wife.
U Titovom Vrbasu, u Saveznoj Republici Jugoslaviji, nisam ostao sa suprugom puno zbog toga što nisam imao financijske, nisam imao financija da živim.
In Tito Vrbas, in the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, where I went with my wife, I didn't stay long for the simple reason that we had no money to live on.
Iz Titovog Vrbasa ponovo se vraćamo u Republiku Srpsku, u Foču, kod supruginog tetka.
From Tito Vrbas, I went back to Republika Srpska, to Foča, where my wife's uncle lived.
U Foči odlazim kod čovjeka koji je nadležan za region Foča, za bezbjednost, koji mi je saopštio, zato što sam Hrvat, da ne mogu da ostanem na njihovoj regiji i da mora ponovo da se vratim u Bijeljinu, gdje sam izašao iz Tuzle.
In Foča, I went to see the man who was in charge of security in the Foča region, and he told me that I couldn't stay there, being a Croat, and that I had to go back to Bijeljina because I had left Tuzla.
Suprugu ostavljam kod tetka u Foči, ja odlazim u Bijeljinu da tražim pomoć od ljudi kojima sam ja pomogao u Tuzli.
So I left my wife in Foča and went off to Bijeljina to seek help from the people I had myself helped in Tuzla.
Dolaskom u Bijeljinu od prijatelja što sam ja pomogao u Tuzli, nije, tako rekući, niko nije htjelo da mi pomogne i jedan prijatelj mi je rekao da moram da se prijavim u vojsku da bi ostvario neka prava u Republici Srpskoj.
When I came to Bijeljina, practically none of my friends were willing to help me. One man told me that in order to realize any rights in Republika Srpska, I had to enlist in the army.
Odlazim u ministarstvo za prijavu u vojsku.
Vojnocek, ne?
Da.
So I went to the relevant ministry, to the military.
Tamo mi kažu,
No problem.
zato što sam Hrvat, da je već neka jedinica formirana od Hrvata koji su isto prebjegli iz Tuzle i od muslimana.
I went to the relevant department, to the military authorities in Bijeljina, and they told me, because I was Croat, that there was already one unit which had been formed from Croats who had themselves escaped from Tuzla.
Preporučio mi da će mi biti najsigurnije da odim u tu jedinicu, da se prijavim zato što su tu Hrvati, da se ne moram plašiti, da će, ispričao sam im prethodnu situaciju da sam bio maltretiran tu i
They told me that I would be safest there and recommended that I join that particular unit because it consisted of Croats and because I had told them what had happened to me before and that I had been maltreated.
I primaju preko jednog prijatelja kojeg sam znao, koji isto pomagao Srbima u Tuzli, primaju me u tu jedinicu.
And it was thanks to a friend whom I had known who had also been helping Serbs in Tuzla, I was accepted by that unit.
Komandant tadašnje jedinice, imali smo zadatke da umještavamo neprijateljska oruđa i magazine, diverzantska jedinica.
It was a diversion unit. Our commander we had orders to destroy enemy weapons and storehouses.
Ni u jednom slučaju do Srebrenice nismo dobili naređenje od tadašnjeg komandanta, nismo dobili naređenje da vršimo ljudske žrtve, ne znam kako to objasnim.
Civilne žrtve.
Da, civilne žrtve, ili ljudske svejedno. Samo smo uništavali oruđa, ništa drugo.
Never until Srebrenica did we get orders to actually kill people. All we did was destroy weapons.
When did you arrive in this unit, if you remember the date?
Da li se sećate datuma kad ste stigli u tu jedinicu?
Negdje u krajem aprila, sredinom aprila, ne znam, 94.
Towards the end of April or the middle of April 94.
Okay. So if this part of the historical aspect is fulfilled, when did you receive the order to join the Srebrenica operation and in what conditions were you involved in this operation?
Kada ste primili naređenje da učestvujete u operacijama u Srebrenici i pod kojim uslovima?
Pa, naređenja primili smo, čitava jedinica je sazvata u Bijeljinu kasarnu 10. ujutru, 10.7.
Well, the whole unit was called to the barracks in Bijeljina on the morning of the 10th of July.
Komandiri vodova i komandiri grupa su znali gdje se ide, vojnici ostali nisu znali gdje se ide, da li se ide na Srebrenicu.
Platoon leaders and group leaders only knew where we were going, the other soldiers didn't know where we were going.
What happened next?
Šta se potom dogodilo?
Ukrcali smo se u vozila u Bijeljinu kasarnu i otišli u pravcu prema Zvorniku. Mislim, dosta, samo su komandiri znali gdje se ide.
We boarded the vehicles, transportation vehicles in Bijeljina and went off in the direction of Zvornik, and only the commanders knew where exactly we were going.
Samo da pojasnim, je li on tada znao gdje ide, obzirom da je rekao da se otišao u Zvornik, da li je tada znao kad su krenuli iz Bijeljine, da li je znao da idu u Zvornik, ili je samo komandir znao gdje oni idu i vodio ih?
Samo komandir je znao.
I on je
ja nisam znao
gdje ide.
Sjeli smo u vozilo i išli smo u pravcu Zvornika. To znam. Kasnije smo došli u
All I
pravcu
know is that we boarded the vehicles and left off in the direction of Zvornik, but nobody but the commanders knew where we were going. Then later we arrived at Bratunac.
mislim, mogu to da objasnim zašto nisam znao, zato što je tako bilo, što je to takva jedinica da samo komandiri znaju gdje ih nazvati.
The reason I didn't know is that it was that kind of unit in which only commanders knew where we had orders to go.
What happened when you arrived in Bratunac?
Šta se desilo kad ste stigli u Bratunac?
Iz Bratunca smo krenuli dalje u pravcu grada Srebrenice. Došli smo negdje navečer iznad Srebrenice na jedno vis, negdje oko 19 časova, 10.
Samo da vidimo pre Bratunca, jesu oni došli do Zvornika?
Da.
Došli ste do Zvornika?
Da, iz Zvornika u Bratunac onda...
Pa tako, da bude...
We had arrived to Zvornik, and from Zvornik we went to Bratunac. From Bratunac we went on towards Srebrenica, and around 7 p.m. we arrived on a hill above the town.
Komandant nam je tad saopštio svima da ćemo tu na tom visu prenoćiti i da sutra ujutru silazimo, zato što smo mi bili specijalna jedinica, da silazimo u grad Srebrenica.
The commander then told us that we would spend the night there, and on the next day that we would go down into the town because we were a special unit.
Mm-hmm. 11. ujutru oko 8 časova došao je komandant i podijelio nas u grupe i rekao da za sat vremena idemo da oslobodimo grad. Da zauzmemo grad.
On the morning of the 11th, at 8 o'clock, the commander came, divided us into groups, and told us that in an hour's time we would leave to liberate, to take the town.
Pri ulasku u grad nismo imali otpora. Civile koji su nam se predavali, upućivali smo na stadion u Srebrenici. Nije u gradu samo jedno naređenje izdato što je izdao naš komandant, da jedan čovjek iz naše jedinice ubije jednog muslimana koji je imao negdje oko 30 godina.
When we entered Srebrenica, we encountered no resistance. The civilians whom we met and who surrendered, we sent to the football grounds. There was only one order for a man from our unit to kill somebody, a Muslim man who was about 30 years old.
How many people do you estimate were still in town at that moment?
Koliko ljudi mislite da je još u tom trenutku još bilo u gradu?
U gradu. Pa nije više bilo od 200 ljudi, to je otprilike, ne znam tačno, ali to su sve bile većinom stariji ljudi koji nisu mogli da hodaju, da...
I don't know exactly, but I should say not more than 200, and mostly older people who couldn't walk easily.
Could you detail this event of the civilian killed by a soldier?
Da li biste nam mogli nešto podrobnije reći o tom civilu koga je vaš vojnik ubio?
Pa imao je negdje oko 30 godina, bio je u civilu, predao se, ništa drugo ne znam. Znam samo da je naš komandant izdao naređenje da ga zakolje i ubije.
I don't know much about him. I only know that he was about 30 in civilian clothes, that he had surrendered to us, and that our commander had ordered that he be killed, that his throat be slit. I don't know.
Did you hear the commander give this order?
Da li ste čuli kad je vaš komandar izdao to naređenje?
Da.
Yes.
What is the name of this commander and his rank?
Kako se zove taj vaš komandir i šta je po činu?
Poručnik Milorad Peleniš.
Lieutenant Milorad Peleniš.
Did he give this order at random to the soldiers, or did he address one soldier in particular to commit this murder?
Da li je to naređenje dao vojsci uopšte ili je nekom određenom vojniku?
Određenom vojniku.
To a specific soldier.
And you know the name of this soldier?
Znate li kako se zvao taj vojnik?
Zoran, zvani Maljić.
Zoran?
Zvani Maljić.
Maljić je mu to prezime.
Nadimak.
Zoran, and his nickname was Maljić.
Zoran is the first name.
Yes.
Do you have a physical description of Malic?
This is his nickname.
This is the nickname, yes,
Yeah.
but Zoran is not
Yeah.
the family name, no?
Ne znate prezime?
Ne.
You don't know his family
No,
name?
he doesn't know.
Okay.
Da li možete da ga opišete?
Pa, kako? Ima negdje oko 25 godina, visok, crn, krupan, iz Vlasenice.
He's around 25, tall, dark, well-built, from Vlasenica.
We will return anyhow later on these kind of events.
Vratit ćemo se u svakom slučaju kasnije na ovakve događaje.
At this stage, I prefer not interrupt you too much so that we go through the total story.
Sad ne bih htjela mnogo da vas prekidam, tako da možemo da prođemo kroz celu priču.
Srebrenica je taj dan završeno grad, još samo da kažem, u gradu su došli neki iz komande Drinskog korpusa i general Mladić, mislim, tu general, što ja znam, nije izdao nikako naređenje da se neko likvidira u gradu Srebrenici. Tog dana kad je zauzet.
Some people came from the command of the Drina Corps, and General Mladic, as far as I know, on that day gave no orders for anybody to be liquidated in Srebrenica.
Posle podnevnih časova, oko 16 časova, komandant nas je ponovo naše jedinice skupio i rekao da ostajemo tu do 12. do sutra, pa sutra idemo nazad u bazu u Vlasenicu.
Around 4 p.m. the commander called us all again and told us that we would stay until the next day, until the 12th, and then we would return to base at Vlasenica.
12. oko 12. oko podne časova smo krenuli iz grada Srebrenice prema našoj bazi u Vlasenici.
On the 12th at around noon we left Srebrenica in the direction of our base at Vlasenica.
U putu prema bazi u Vlasenici pokvarilo se vozilo u kojem sam ja bio sa još nekoliko drugova i mi smo ostali iza kolone da osposobimo vozilo da možemo dalje ideti.
On the way there, the vehicle in which I was with a few comrades broke down, and we were left behind to try and repair it.
Pri dolasku kasnili smo dosta za kolonom, došli smo negdje u Vlasenicu u bazu oko ponoći.
We reached the base at Vlasenica about midnight, which was rather later than the rest of the group.
Tad sam saznao da je naš komandant se prevrnuo sa transporterom i da je poginuo jedan čovjek iz naše jedinice.
Then I learned that an armed personal carrier had an accident, and in which our commander was riding, and that one man had been killed. One man from our unit had been killed. The APC was overturned.
Mm-hmm.
13. ujutru dolazi čovjek koji je određen za pozadinu u našoj jedinici i saopštava mi da mi je komandant odredio da idem na sahranu u Trebinje tom poginulom vojniku sa još 6 druga.
On the morning of the 13th, somebody from the logistics department came and told me that I and 6 other friends, 6 other soldiers had been detailed to go to that soldier's funeral in Trebinje.
13. odlazimo na sahranu u Trebinje, ali prethodno prije tog saznajemo od tu da je komandant naredio 2 ljudi da ubiju jednog čovjeka koji je bio isto musliman iz Srebrenice, koji je uhapšen prije pada Srebrenice, koji je služio u našoj jedinici za izviđanja na taj grad.
On the 13th we went to the funeral in Trebinje, but before we had learned that 2 men from our unit had been ordered by the commander to kill a Muslim who had been arrested before the fall of Srebrenica and who had previously served with our unit as a reconnaissance man in preparation for the operation.
Iz Trebinja se vraćam posle 2 dana, 15. ujutru.
I returned from Trebinje on the morning of the 15th.
Pošto smo došli rano ujutru i putovali smo dosta, otišli smo nas 7 na spavanje.
Because we arrived early in the morning and we had a long journey, the 7 of us went to sleep.
16. ujutru kad sam ustao, došao je jedan vojnik, Gojković, Brano iz Vlasenice, rekao mi da sam određen da idem na zadatak zajedno sa njim i još 6 drugova.
On the morning of the 16th, a soldier called Brano Gojković from Vlasenice came and told me that myself and 6 other soldiers had been ordered for a special detail. Brano Gojković.
Gojković.
U tom trenutku nisam znao, ni tada nisam znao, niti bilo ko od vojnika znao gdje se ide.
At that time, I didn't know, and none of us knew where we were going.
Došli smo u Zvornik, gdje je Brano i vozač otišli da komandu vojne policije da se jave zbog daljeg zadatka.
We arrived in Zvornik, where Brano and the driver went to report to the military police command.
Yeah.
Poslije 10-15 minuta Brano i vozač su izašli sa potpukovnikom i 2 vojnih policajaca iz Drinskog korpusa.
After maybe 10 or 15 minutes, Brano and the driver went out with the lieutenant colonel and 2 military policemen from the Drina Corps.
You have a name of these people?
Da li znate njihova imena?
Ne.
No.
Okay.
Naređeno je da sjedemo u vozilo i da idemo za vozilom u kojem se nalazi potpukovnik i ta 2 vojna policajca.
Our orders were to go back to our vehicle and follow the vehicle in which the lieutenant colonel and the 2 military policemen were.
Išli smo putem koji ide iz Zvornika prema Bijeljinu.
We took the road which leads from Zvornik to Bijeljina.
Došli su, tada nas je potpukovnik odveo na jednu farmu koja se nalazila u mjestu Pilice.
Then the Lieutenant Colonel took us to a farm which was in a place called Pilice.
Tada je potpukovnik pričao sa Branom i potpukovnik rekao da za pola sata treba da dođe prvi autobus i taj potpukovnik i dva policajca su posle tih riječi odmah otišli.
The Lieutenant Colonel talked to Brana and told him that the first bus would be coming in about half an hour, and after that he and the two policemen went away.
Tada nam je Brano saopštio da treba da dođe autobus sa civilima koji su se predali na Srebrenici.
Then Brana told us that we were expecting a bus with civilians who had surrendered in Srebrenica.
Tada sam saznao šta je naš zadatak i šta treba da radim. Prije nisam znao.
Only then did I learn what our orders were and what we were supposed to do. I hadn't known that before.
Stigao je prvi autobus. U njemu su bili civili. Ljudi u civilnoj odjeći.
The first bus arrived. On the bus there were civilians, people in civilian clothes.
Brano nas je rasporedio u streljački stroj i rekao da trebamo da streljamo te ljude.
Brano deployed us in a firing squad and told us that we were supposed to shoot these people.
Ako može da me povodom tog slučaja postavljate pitanja, mislim ne mogu da se koncentrišem, ne mogu da odgovaram baš.
Could you ask me questions in connection with this? I cannot concentrate.
I don't want to enter too much in the details. Just make it chronologically what happens when the first bus arrives.
Ne bih tam mnogo da idemo u detalje, ako možete samo da vam kažete hronološki, šta je bilo kad je stigao prvi autobus.
U autobusu se nalazili vozač, dva policajca i ti ljudi koji smo streljali.
In the bus there was the driver, there were two policemen and those people whom we then killed.
Did other buses arrive after this one?
Da li su posle toga autobusa stigli i drugi autobusi?
Da, dolazili su kad se završi sa streljanjem jedan autobus, dolazili su drugi autobus.
Yes, when the people from one bus were executed, then another bus would come.
How many buses came?
Koliko je autobusa ukupno došlo?
Sad ne mogu to da odgovorim, nisam ni brojao, mislim, nije mi bilo to, ne znam kako da odgovorim.
I couldn't say exactly. I wasn't counting. I really didn't feel like.
How long did the process last for?
Koliko je sve to trajalo?
Trajalo je od 10 do ujutru do 15 časova posle pola.
It lasted from 10 in the morning till 3 p.m.
Do you have an idea of how many people were executed that day?
Imate li neku predstavu o tome koliko je ljudi moglo biti ubijeno tog dana?
Pa imam predstav, možda 1200 ljudi, ne znam tačno, ne mogu ništa reći, ali onako
I couldn't say anything precisely. I think about 1,200, but I'm really not sure.
No, na osnovu čega to predstavlja? Mislim, šta je brojka
On the basis
ili
of what?
autobusi, ili broj autobusa, tako, ili broj sedišta.
procjene autobusa, onda neki su pričali da su brojali koliko su ubili, šta, mislim, nije me to me nije interesovalo, čak sam se izvlačio i htio sam da pomognem nekim ljudima, ne znam, nisam želio to da radim, a morao sam da radim, kako onda, da brojim i da znam cifru i...
Well, I wasn't interested in counting. I had actually tried to get out of it. I tried to help some people, but I had to do it, so I really didn't want, wasn't interested in counting, but on the basis of the number of buses, and some people also had said that they had counted the number of people they had killed.
We will enter anyway all these details later. At this stage I would like you to tell the full story of the day chronologically as much as you remember.
U svakom slučaju mi ćemo kasnije razgovarati o detaljima, sad bih vas samo molio ako možete da nam hronološki ispričate zbivanja tog dana, koliko se vi sećate.
For example, let's start at the end of this process. What happened? Who came and what did you do?
Na primjer, da počnemo od kraja svega toga, šta se dogodilo, ko je došao, šta ste vi uradili?
Pa možda da dovrši ovo, pošto streljanje je završeno u 15 sati, šta se sad dešava?
Da, pa to.
Da.
Pri kraju nije bilo još završeno streljanje, stigli su još neki ljudi iz Bratunca.
The executions had not been finished yet when some more people from Bratunac came.
Na kraju je došao potpunik, taj isti sa dvojicom policajaca i rekao nam da u obližnom domu ima negdje oko 500 civila koji hoće da provali, koji isto treba streljati, što smo mi odbili.
At the end, the lieutenant...
Koji su ovo ljudi iz Bratunca? Šta je to? Je to isto za...
Da, za...
likvidaciju?
Da, za koji su vršili streljanje.
A isto baš je...
Da.
The people who had come from Bratunac were the ones who had taken part in the executions there. And then the lieutenant colonel, the same lieutenant colonel, arrived when the executions were over with the 2 policemen, and said that there were 5 civilians detained nearby who were trying to break free and wanted to send us there to kill them, but we refused.
Posle toga mi smo odbili da uradimo to što da idemo da streljamo te ljude što su bili u domu. Međutim, otišla je ta grupa iz Bratunca što je došla.
We had refused to go and kill those people who had been kept there, but the people of the Bratunac group went and did it instead.
Tada smo mi sjeli u svoje vozilo i otišli na mjesto gdje nam je rekao potpunik da treba da dođemo na neki sastanak.
So we boarded our vehicle and went to the place where the lieutenant colonel had told us to go for some kind of meeting.
Kada smo došli na mjesto gdje je Brani rekao taj potpunik, to je bilo preko puta doma u jednoj kafani, vidio sam napolju ljude koji su streljali i iz Bratunaca.
When we arrived, it was in a cafe which was across the street from the building where the 500 civilians had been kept, and I saw the people from Bratunac who had been sent to kill them.
Jel on video ljude koji streljaju ili video ljude streljane? Ili
Ljude streljane.
streljane?
Da.
And I saw the people who had been killed, the bodies.
Posle nekoliko, možda pola sata, otišli smo ponovo u bazu u Vlasenici i tad je rečeno da idemo, naš vod iz Bijeljine, da se vraća ponovo u Bijeljinu i da idemo kući na odmor.
After about half an hour, we went back to base in Vlasenica, and we were told that our platoons for a holiday, that we were on leave.
Otišli smo u Bijeljinu. Da li je da pričam šta se dešavalo?
Then we went to Bijeljina. Do you want me to go on with the story?
Yes, sure.
Tih dana Bijeljinu čuo sam priče od kako su neki pričali, koliko su ubili ljudi, zašto, i tad sam saznao da rekao mi jedan vojnik koji je bio blizak sa našim komandantom da je za to streljanje ljudi obećao naš komandant neko zlato iz Srebrenice, ne znam, neka poruka, ali ja to nisam vidio, samo sam čuo od jednog čovjeka koji je to pričao iz naše jedinice.
Back in Vienna, I heard stories. People were saying how many people they'd killed. A soldier who was close to our commander told me that the commander had promised for these killings some gold from Srebrenica, but I don't know what came of that, and this is something I didn't see. This is just something I heard.
Posle nekoliko dana u Bijeljini, tačnije 22. u noći, u mene...
22. jula.
Da. Jedan čovjek iz jedinice je u jednom kafiću pucao u mene 3 metra. Ne znam zašto.